The colonel's voice cut through the hangar like a blade. Laughter followed his words as he dismissed her in front of the unit. The female mechanic stood beside a disassembled sniper rifle spread across the workbench, tools aligned with precise order. Oil stained her gloves. Her posture remained steady. But the silence around her felt heavy. "You'll never understand this level of work," the colonel said sharply, shaking his head. "Leave it to the experts." A few soldiers exchanged glances. Some looked uncomfortable, others smirked. The air smelled of metal, solvent, and tension. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you re-watching from. I love knowing who is listening. Her name was Elena Markov. She wasn't supposed to be in the spotlight. She preferred engines, calibrations, and quiet repairs. Years of technical training had taught her that precision doesn't need applause. It only needs consistency. The sniper rifle on the table had been malfunctioning during long-range tests. Minute deviations in alignment had caused unpredictable shots. The unit needed it ready for an upcoming evaluation. The colonel believed the issue was minor. He believed it required a proper marksman's touch. Elena believed it required patience. When the colonel turned away, she felt the sting of his words but not the urge to defend herself. Instead, she took a slow breath. Doubt flickered inside her. Was she stepping beyond her role? Would proving herself only deepen the divide? She pushed the thought aside. In the testing corridor, a target was set at distance. The demonstration was informal, but observers gathered anyway. Curiosity is powerful, especially when someone has been underestimated. The colonel folded his arms as she approached the rifle. He expected a basic mechanical adjustment, nothing dramatic. Elena lifted the weapon carefully, then, without looking through the standard alignment tools, she closed one eye, briefly assessing the balance. Through memory and touch, the rifle's internal calibration had shifted due to repeated recoil stress. She felt it in the weight distribution. The colonel leaned slightly forward. She placed the rifle on a stable surface. Then calmly, she began adjusting the internal alignment screws using only one hand. Her other hand rested at her side. The room grew quiet. Some soldiers whispered that it couldn't be done accurately without full instrumentation. Others watched, skeptical. Elena's movements were controlled and deliberate. Each twist of the tool was measured. She relied on tactile feedback, not sight. She had memorized the rifle's internal structure during months of maintenance work. Her confidence wasn't arrogance, it was familiarity. Minutes passed, sweat gathered lightly at her temple, though her expression never changed. She paused, then stepped back. The rifle was assembled again. The colonel signaled for the test. A marksman stepped forward to fire under supervision. He adjusted his stance, then squeezed the trigger. The shot hit the outer edge of the target better than before, but not perfect. The colonel frowned. Elena stepped forward again, without argument, without ceremony. "May I?" she asked quietly. There was hesitation in the air, not because she lacked authority, but because pride had already been challenged. The colonel nodded stiffly. She took the rifle. Instead of aiming immediately, she rested it against the stand and made one final micro adjustment, this time with her eyes closed. She relied on muscle memory alone. The calibration had to feel correct, not just look correct. A few soldiers exchanged uncertain glances. Elena lifted the rifle, took a steady breath, focused, one shot. The sound echoed sharply across the corridor. Silence followed. The round struck the center of the target with precision. No movement, no deviation, perfect alignment. A low murmur spread through the room. The colonel stared at the target, then at her. For a moment, pride and surprise wrestled across his face. He approached the rifle, inspecting it himself. The calibration was flawless. Elena lowered the weapon gently. She didn't smile triumphantly. She didn't speak. She simply returned the rifle to the table, cleaned her tools, and prepared to leave. The colonel cleared his throat. "You were correct," he admitted, his voice quieter now. Elena met his eyes, not with defiance, with composure. "I just understood the system," she replied. The tension dissolved slowly. The soldiers who had laughed earlier now looked thoughtful. Skill had replaced assumption. Precision had replaced prejudice. In that moment, something shifted beyond the rifle's calibration. Respect isn't commanded by rank alone, it's earned through competence. Elena walked out of the hangar under the open sky, feeling the wind brush against her face. The doubt she had felt earlier no longer weighed on her. She had not needed to argue. The result had spoken. Strength comes in many forms. Sometimes it stands behind a workbench. Sometimes it holds a tool with one steady hand. And sometimes it changes minds without raising its voice. True expertise does not seek validation. It simply performs. If this story inspired you, share your thoughts below. And subscribe for more powerful stories of resilience and quiet determination, because in the end, skill speaks loudest when it is allowed to.